Good evening, everybody, and it's Friday evening, the end of another busy week, and I just wonder what everybody's been up to. What sort of week have you had? Some of you have been joining me here live in the in my broadcast. Hi, Karen, nice to see you on here. Just going to refresh my page. There we go, so that I can see the comments coming up. A great week. It's been a great week. Hi, Daniel. What's everybody been up to this week? I've broadcast every night this week, so lots and lots of things going on. Hi, Leslie. Nice to see you in the broadcast. Friday night is news night with Lyn. Every night at 10 is news night with all the different things going on. And it has been... hi, Daniel. It's been a busy week here. I've done a roundup most nights, but tonight I've got my pom-poms, my cheerleaders pom-poms. And the reason I went and got my pom-poms, you know, all the best from a Poundland, you know, girl can never have too much sparkle. So I've splashed out. I've had these for a while. I didn't just buy them today. But the reason I went and got them just now as a prop for tonight was because I'm going to read you a quote that I saw come up earlier in the day today. Let me just go and see if I can find it now, because it's probably disappeared. I've got several quotes for you tonight, but we've been talking very much about positivity and remaining very positive through lots of things. Hi, Tracy. And so the reason I have my cheerleaders pom-poms tonight, this quote is coming. So it says, why do you choose to be critics? Hi, Matt. Why do you choose to be critics rather than cheerleaders? Well, I'm going to be a cheerleader, right? It says, because it's easier to point out the faults of others than to deal with our own. So I thought that came up in my my time hop. That's something I put up on the 2nd of February 2017, and it came up in my time hop. Hi, Lyn. And because I saw it then, because we've been talking about positive things. Hi, Karen. And talking about positive things, I thought I would read that. So I'll just read it again for the people who just came in. So here we are. I'm a cheerleader. And it says, why do you choose to be critics rather than cheerleaders? Because it's easier to point out the faults of others than deal with your own. So anyway, we're going to be cheerleaders. Let's be cheerleaders and let's deal with our own issues and then be very, very positive. And so I'm going to start tonight with, I've got a positive quote here. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Here we go. This one, and I do this, so you know, pat yourselves all on the back for this one, because you are the lovely warm people that keep me going and doing what I do. It says, stay positive and happy, work hard and don't give up. Hi, Laura. Be open to criticism and keep learning. Surround yourself with happy, warm and genuine people. And that's what all of you are. You know, hi, Debbie. Nice, happy, genuine, warm people. So stay positive and happy. And of course, I've told you how I've managed to do that. I haven't always been so, but over the years, I've learnt to stay positive. Hi, Lucy. And to be happy. It does make me very happy, because you know, it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So why would you put the energy into the frowning? And over the years, I don't know whether it's the School of Hard Knocks or the University of Life. Hi, Gail. But I've decided that, you know, actually staying positive and being happy is much nicer than being down in the dumps and grumpy. And so I find that, you know, giving a little smile here and there to people actually works wonders. And so be open to criticism. Yes, there's things that we can learn. Hi, Amelia. I won't, there's things we can learn. I mean, there's out and out nastiness and that sort of criticism, which actually, you know, I think that's not okay. If you're being rude to me and being horrible to me, that is not okay. And that's not anybody here in the broadcast. And if there was anybody here in the broadcast doing that, I would block them, because this is a place for happiness and positiveness here. So, I am open to learning and to for suggestions from some people, but not open to nastiness. You know, that is not okay. And I will tell people that is not okay. Once upon a time, I couldn't tell them. Once upon a time, I would take it and be miserable. But actually, over the years, School of Hard Knocks, the University of Life has taught me to get out there And then it says keep learning. Well, I learn every day. I'm upskilling every day. I go on YouTube, I learn new things, whether it's every day I'm doing taking positive stuff on board. And you know, if you're feeling a bit down, give it a try, because it's amazing what it will do if you listen day after day to positive stuff. Hi Sharon. You know, it does make a difference, and I can tell you because I've done it. And every day's a school day, yes. But do you know what? Quote of mine, absolutely, it's a favourite quote of mine, Amelia. I'm not sure whether you've heard me saying it, but I do say every day's a school day. But you know, I've even been criticised for saying every day's a school day, for using that phrase. And you know what? I'm an ex-school teacher, so I will use that phrase. It's a phrase I want to use. If other people don't like that phrase, that's tough luck. But you know, that it's not okay for them to say I can't use that phrase. And I've actually had somebody say that to me. Well, you mustn't use the word school days. Well, tough. I was in school until I was nearly 60, because I've been a teacher of 30 years, 30 plus years or whatever. So, you know, it is... it's okay for me to say every day's a school day, and every day I'm learning. I go on YouTube because I teach social media, and social media is such a fast moving world that I can't know everything and be up to date every day because it moves so fast. So every day I'm looking, I'm watching, I'm finding new things that I can then share with the people who want to know. Feed yourself daily with positive, absolutely, which is why I've got I'm on a site called Brainy Quote, and I've punched in positive quotes, and I got a whole load of positive quotes on here. And I'll read you another one. It says, love yourself. It is important to stay positive because beauty comes from the inside out. And so you've got to learn to love yourself. And, you know, maybe that's been hard, but, you know, just take some top tips. You know, just go and find all the positive stuff. On Facebook, I punch into Facebook, you know, in the search bar, and I put positive, and then all these sites come up with all this positive stuff. So I might share stuff from those sites onto my Facebook, onto my Twitter, onto my other feeds, you know, because just dropping those things in and reminding people that actually, you know, although there's a lot of not very nice things going on in the world, there's an awful lot that we can make to make it a nicer world. And you know, here on these broadcasts, we are gathering a lovely community who talk to each other. Some of you have met each other, some of you haven't. Hi Chaddy. I'm going to go back onto my other screen so that I can see the comments coming up, hopefully. Yes, I noticed Karen, that Karen had put a post up. She's pleased with her granddaughter today, who got 10 out of 10 for the first time. I think it was with spellings, wasn't it? And normally she gets 2 or nothing, but the hard work's paid off. So everybody working with your granddaughter, that's really good. So I will be with my grandchildren soon, and I expect I will have to do some spelling and that sort of thing, some homework with them. And, you know, it's just working with them and helping them. And encouraging them, you know, just nice words of encouragement, because we are programming them. You know, we're all born without a program, and as we go through life we get programmed by our parents, by our teachers, by people around us. And so let's put some positive programs into those little people. So I don't know how many people on here have grandchildren. Some of you have children, some of you have grandchildren. I've got both, of course. I've got three beautiful children and 4 beautiful grandchildren. And just, you know, to me, my family is everything. I do spend a lot of family time. Today, I've had more family time. I've had lovely family time with my mum and one of my brothers at lunch. We went off to Apley and had a lovely lunch together. My brother was back from his holidays in America. He and his wife had 3 weeks out, which was why I was doing the caring for my mum. Doesn't mean I don't care about my mum anymore. It means that I'm obviously not being the chauffeur at the moment, unless my brother needs, you know, help with that. So we go off on a Friday to have a lunch at Apley Manor, which is one of the lovely restaurants and hotels in Ryde. And we did that. And so wait a minute. Right, so Amelia's youngest has a teacher takeover on Monday. He's running a lesson. His choice, Eco Warrior Marine. Oh, so you mean Eco Warrior Marine Conservation and Blue Planet. So does that mean that the pupils are becoming the teachers, and then do the teachers sit there and listen? I don't know. I've not experienced that. So, you know, it sounds like a brilliant idea. It sounds like they're taking place. So correct me if I'm, you know, if I'm wrong. But that's what it sounds like to me, Amelia, and it's great. You know that. So I love his choice. I love his choice of subjects: Eco Warrior, Marine Conservation, Blue Planet. Now, as you're mentioning eco stuff there, I've got something else on my list. I've got a little list of things to talk about today. Sometimes I have a list. Sometimes like last night, I ran in and I came in well after 9:30 and had nothing on my list. So I sort of just went, you know, off the cuff last night. Hi, David. Tonight, I got in only just after 9:30. And I did make a little list. So wait a minute. Each pupil gets a 30-minute slot to teach the other 19 pupils. Excellent, Amelia. That's excellent. Do let us know, you know, after Monday how that goes, because I'd love to you know, have the follow-up to that and how it went. But while I was looking on the internet, when I came in, as I say, tonight, I came in at 9:30, had a lovely day. I've been out since 12 o'clock lunchtime, and I just got in at 9:30, but in time to have a quick look on the internet, see what I wanted to pull out to chat to you about tonight. And there was a hashtag that was simply amazing. Now, I don't know if anybody saw a hashtag on Twitter today about Simply Amazing, and if anybody knows what it's about, but it ties in nicely with Amelia's son's lesson, and it's around the eco business. So if anybody knows what that was, I'll give you a few minutes to see if you can guess. Hi, Parita, what that was all about. So, you know, eco, I mean, I do try to do the eco stuff where I can, and as I say, that hashtag, my eyes lit on it when I saw what it was all about. I'll tell you in a minute what that one's about, because that's actually, there's some of my history around that hashtag. So hi, Gil. Nice to see you. So long since I saw you. Gil and I saw each other a little bit earlier on, as did Lisa. I don't know if Lisa's in here. Yes, I was with them, had a lovely meal with them tonight. Thank you so much. And yes, so it's been absolutely, Karen. Did you Google that, Karen, or did you know that the Simply Amazing hashtag was for the Nissan Leaf? You know, I didn't know it until I went on there just now. And basically, the Nissan Leaf, some years ago, when I was first without a vehicle, and I was on the bus when I first got my bus pass. Hi, Lisa. First got my bus pass. I ended up. It was in the summertime, and I was. Hi, Veronica. I was trading on Cowes Seafront in Cowes Week. Hi, Adi. And I had to. I was representing my White Buzz group. We had a stand on the Esplanade in Cowes Week, and I was there promoting all the businesses that in my network group who wanted to be there. Basically, I think it was £500 for stand down there, so none of us could afford that, any one of us, but collectively we could. And I said to the people, if they paid a portion, you know, we could actually go on Cowes Seafront. So a lot of us paid in, and we got the 500 by actually collaborating and working together. And I went down and represented everybody. And I was on social media. I mean, this is some years ago, but I was on social media and I was talking about my shenanigans going on the bus with all my stuff and whatever. And somebody who then worked for oh dear, there's a garage in Ryde, and I've it's just gone right out of my head, but they you remember that? Yeah, they sell Nissan Leaf cars. And Nissan Leaf, of course, for anybody who doesn't know, they are electric cars, perfect cars for the Isle of Wight. And that they had a salesman called Chris, and he'd seen my shenanigans online and about my issues with getting the bus and all that sort of thing. And he No, it's not that garage. No, it's the one up near Tesco's, Gil. Can you remember what it's called? It's the Nissan garage along from Tesco's near Busy Bees on the other side of the road. And I've totally forgotten with it. It starts with an S. I'm sure it starts with an S. But, you know, I'm sure one of you will prompt me in a minute. I've totally gone out of my head. How you ever remember that it starts with an S if you can't remember what it is. But anyway, it's the garage up there. And they sell the electric cars, the Nissans. And Chris was the salesman back then. He doesn't work there now, but he was a salesman back there. And he messaged me and, oh, that's it, Staddlestones. Thank you. I knew it began with an S. Well done, Gil. Thank you, Lisa. And so Chris was working for Staddlestones and he messaged me. I didn't know him, but he said, do you have a driving licence? I said, yes, I do. So he said, would you like to borrow the Nissan Leaf for a week? And I thought, wow. Isn't that amazing? Because I hadn't even approached them or anything, but they'd seen, you know, this is the power of social media. And because I'm very active on social media, he'd seen that there were issues. So they lent me the Nissan Leaf for a week. Now, it was a lovely white car, but I was a bit sad that they didn't lend me one that was sign written, because I was going backwards and forwards to Cowes for a week with this lovely electric car that I'd been lent by Staddlestones, and they hadn't got it branded on the side. How daft was that? Because I was all over social media and I could have been really promoting their car. I mean, I did talk about it. I did talk about Staddlestones, but I didn't actually have the branding on the side, you know, and I'm a marketing person and they hadn't thought that. Anyway, never mind. I was really, really grateful for that for a week. I was getting used to it because, of course, you have to plug that car in. I don't have an electric charger at my house, but you are able to plug them into to a domestic, you know, in your house, in the socket where you would plug your vacuum cleaner in, or, you know, other things that you'd plug into the wall. You could do it like that. Well, those who know where I live in a flat that sits on top of two garages. So I'm not ground floor. Okay, I go in on the ground floor, but I go straight upstairs. So this might be a little bit of a challenge when I've got to charge the car up overnight. Well, fortunately, it was the summer. So what I did was I had to push the wire out the window and down to the car. So for a week, I was charging the car like that. Now it took a whole night to charge. I don't know if they've changed them, and there are quick charges now, but this was a slow charge. And so it was doing okay, but I was going to Cowes and back every day, and I'm not sure, I think that's about 10 miles or something. I'm not quite sure how much. And it was charging up, but it wasn't getting to its full charge. And then on about the Thursday night, I was on the way home, and I realised that actually I was only going to get part way home. I wasn't going to get all the way home before the charge on the car ran out. And of course, I'd never been in charge of an electric car before. I didn't know quite, you know, what was going to happen. And I thought, well, it's getting really low. I can't risk trying to get home and then getting stranded with no actually charge. And it was totally electric. It wasn't part electric and part diesel like some of them are. It was totally electric. And so I had to do a bit of out of the box thinking. So I stopped somewhere in a lay-by or something, and I have a friend who, I was running an eco-friendly business at the time, and I have a friend who was in the business as well, and she lives in Wootton. Now Wootton is on the way from Cowes to Ryde. I live in Ryde. I was coming from Cowes, and I rang her up. I rang her on her mobile, and I said, "Are you at home?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Can I come by for a cup of tea?" She said yes. And I said, "And can I plug my car in?" Now, that's a bit of a strange thing. Usually people come by and say, "Oh, can I plug my phone in?" But I said to her, "Can I," you know, we had a lot of fun around this. And I said, "Can I plug my car in?" So fortunately, she wasn't too proud about her garden. And she's got a bit of grass in front of her kitchen window. And so I had to pull so she said yes. So I had to pull the car right up on her grass, right in front of her kitchen window, push the wire through, and she plugged me in her kitchen. And so I went in and I had a cup of tea, and I spent a while there. And the car charged enough for me to get home from Wootton to Ryde. Once I got to Ryde, obviously I could plug it into my own electricity, and I was fine and good to go the next day. But that was one of the first experiences of an electric car. It's got better now because obviously over the years they've come up with the fast chargers. So that was my first ever experience, and they lent me that car for a whole week, and I was absolutely delighted. It made life so much easier for me than having to struggle on the bus every day. And, and that was very tiring, standing a whole day, manning an exhibition stand, and then doing early mornings to get there and late evenings to get back. So I was so grateful for that car, and quite disappointed when I had to take it back at the end of the week, as you can imagine. So anyway, back I went, back on the bus, after that, having been really grateful for it. And then a bit later on, I was doing a lot of charity work, and through social media, I was with a friend, and I used to do some Giggly Granny stuff. And as the Giggly Grannies, we used to raise a lot of funds for charity, for the homeless, the hungry and the homeless. And we used to collect. People used to offer to donate food and all sorts of things, and we had to sometimes collect it up. And of course, I didn't have a vehicle, and I was doing all this, and all these people were offering this stuff. Sometimes people would bring it to us, which was fantastic, but sometimes they weren't able to. So I hit on an idea, and I thought, Staddlestones lent me that car before. I wonder whether I ought to be cheeky enough and go to Staddlestones and say, can I borrow the car again? Because I'm doing some charity work, and I will give you publicity if you lend me the car. And so I kept saying this is what I was going to do, but I was procrastinating on it until one day one of my friends said, come on, Lyn, I'm taking you to Staddlestones. So there was no getting out of it then. I actually had to do it. So we went along to Staddlestones, and we arrived at Staddlestones. We hadn't announced that we were going, and the boss man was actually busy in a meeting. So we said, that doesn't matter, we'll wait. And up there, they give you coffee while you're waiting. So that was lovely. We had some coffee. There were some books on the table, and various other things. But there was a colouring book, and this was really funny. This was a bit like an omen. There was a colouring book, and it was open on a page. It's a children's colouring book, and it was like a dot-to-dot book. Now, they call me the connection queen, and I connect businesses, and I connect, obviously the charity stuff. We were connecting homeless people with their food and all that sort of thing. And so here was this dot-to-dot book. And so I just thought, oh, that's funny. They call me the connection queen, and here we are. We can join the dots and connect the dots. Well, what was even funnier was there was a bee on the page. Now, my network group is called White Buzz, and people call me Mummy Buzz, or Queen Bee. So we got the bee, we got the dots, but also the bee was sitting on a leaf. Now, don't forget, I'd gone to the garage to talk to them about the Nissan Leaf. So I saw this as a bit of an omen. People thought I was absolutely nuts to go to a garage and say, please, can you lend me a car for me to go and do my charity work? They thought I was off the planet. But, if you don't ask, you don't get. Anyway, seeing this on the table, I just thought, you know what? I think that they're going to, do this for me, because I saw this bee and a leaf and the dots all as a bit of a sign. So anyway, the boss man came along, he listened to what we had to say, and he said, well, I'll have to go away and think about this, because he said, and then he said, I got to think whether you're better than the county press. And he meant an advert in the county press. Well, of course I am. I talk. The county press is a flat thing, and the adverts don't talk, and I talk, and I really do help, show off things that are good and tell people all about them. So anyway, I thought, well, we can just wait and see. He said, oh, I'll give you an answer in a week. Anyway, he hadn't come back to me within the week because obviously he's a busy man and this wasn't number one on his priority list. So when a week went by, I gave him a call and he said, yes. He said, you can borrow the Nissan Leaf for 3 months. How amazing was that? Absolutely amazing. A 3-month loan of the electric car. And of course, an electric car, fantastic. Hi, Clint. An electric car was costing me only about 2p a mile. So we were doing this charity work. We'd been given the car to do it. So people were offering us sleeping bags, food, clothes for the hungry and homeless. And then some of the hungry and homeless were getting housed. And so I was putting things out on social media. My giggly granny friend was doing it verbally. She was talking to people. I was doing the social media, and we were getting offers of all this stuff coming in. So this car was really, really useful in going to round up all these things. Sometimes it would be saucepans for somebody who was being housed now and they've got nothing. So we rounded up all sorts of things in that Nissan Leaf, and it was absolutely amazing. But of course, at the end of 3 months, I had to give it back, and I was very, very sad. So when I saw, but very, very grateful for what Staddlestones did for me. And that's right. Yes, Karen, it was the car that I had when you and John came over to see me. That's right. And we had some happy memories. It had a Facebook page of its own, the Adventures of a Nissan Leaf, I think it was, or something like that. And I took other people out in it, and we had lots and lots of fun with that car. And it was amazing. And I always parked it in a significant place because this one was sign written. I said, I want one that was sign written so I can show your car off. And I can remember Giggly Granny and I'm one, she was 2. We were up on Culver Cliff one day, just having a chill out because we could. And some people pulled up next door and they were having a look at the car. So I said, well, do you want to have a look? Do you want to sit in? And I was actually doing what, the salesman's job and showing them. We were on the seafront down at Seaview one day, and somebody was looking. I said, oh, have a look at the boot and see. So I actually became a car salesperson, showing off this wonderful Nissan Leaf that they'd given me. Hi, Zoe. So the reason anybody coming in now, the reason I'm talking about the Nissan Leaf today that I was lent for 3 months is because today I spotted #SimplyAmazing, and today there's a brand new Nissan Leaf has been released. Now, do you think I should be cheeky enough to go to Nissan and say, lend me an electric car here on the Isle of Wight and we can do loads of charity work? Who's up for thinking that I should do that? Give me your vote, because again, if you don't ask, you don't get. And the power of Twitter is amazing, and you could do so much work. It would be simply amazing if they lent it. We could do simply amazing work as a community. We could all come together, all doing all sorts of things. So I think, what do you reckon? Do you reckon I should ask? And see? Go to Nissan, not just to Staddlestones, but go to Nissan themselves and do that. I think it... Absolutely. I think I should. What can they say? They can say yes or they can say no. But if they said yes, we would have to put together an amazing, amazing campaign around their new Nissan Leaf. But it is the absolute ideal car for the island. When I had that first Nissan Leaf, I got in touch with the council and I said, well, where are the charge points? Because obviously I could charge it into, the power, put the power into my own electricity through my bedroom window, as I did every night. I had to feed the thing out every night and lower it down and sort it out that way, which is a bit of a palaver. Obviously, if I had one permanently, I would actually have a charge point fixed on the wall, a proper, car charging point. But it was quite amusing. And so I think, way back then it was a lot of fun. We did have a lot of fun, but I asked the council. I said, where are the charge points? And they said to me, oh well, we've ring fenced some money for them. they'd ring-fenced the money, but they actually hadn't got any. Now, bearing in mind we're a little island where electric cars would be perfect, why weren't they getting their act together and really pushing the electric cars? I don't mean pushing them. I mean pushing the idea of people having electric cars. They were not on board with it. They'd got the money ring-fenced, but they weren't doing anything with it. So I think there was the very odd charge point here and there, you know, not very many around the island at all, about 2 or 3, I think. So mostly it was me plugging in through my bedroom window. Now, there was one day when I went to my mum's and I was staying overnight at my mum's, and I said, oh, can I plug in? And she's got a garage. So I plugged it in the garage, and guess what happened? It blew the fuses and we went into total darkness. There was a friend there helping me, and we went into total darkness because where my mum's garage is, it's very dark unless there's lights on, and the whole thing blew the fuse. But what had happened, it wasn't really my fault, but what had happened, it wasn't wired properly. The sockets weren't wired properly, and because it was, you know, the charge it blew the fuses. But actually it was probably good, because then the plug got wired properly and it was fine to plug the car in. So I used to, you know, get the car charged up there. So, you know, my mum didn't go mad at me. We got it sorted very quickly. You know, when you have a big network of people, there's always somebody like an electrician that you can get fairly quickly. And I do have a lot of these people at my fingertips. Or if I don't, these days I just throw something up on Facebook and say, help, can somebody help? And Facebook usually delivers. It's been very rare that Facebook ever didn't deliver. And people ask me things all the time, and I say, I don't know, but let's ask my audience, and let's ask my network and see if anybody can deliver. So there we are. So you think that I should go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tweet Nissa Leaf using that hashtag Simply Amazing, and say it would be hashtag Simply Amazing if you would lend us your Nissa Leaf down here on the Isle of Wight. So let's see how we go with that one, because Twitter is amazing anyway, very, very powerful. I'll give that one a go. I can't promise that that's going to happen, but I'll let you know how we get on with that. So that was one of the hashtags that was trending today. Now, I spotted another thing today. You might notice that I'm wearing a red cardigan today. I don't often wear red. You usually see me wearing purple or turquoises and purples and navies, but today I'm wearing red. And hi Ian, and the reason I'm wearing red today is because, yeah, I might go back to the original garage too, but I don't know, why not just go straight to the top? The reason I'm wearing red, anybody know why I'm wearing red today? Let's throw that one out while I have a little swig of my coffee. See if you know why I've got my red. I couldn't find my lovely red earrings, and I didn't find my purple earring that I lost yesterday, so I still only got one purple earring. So anybody know why I'm wearing red today? No. Nobody know? Well, I am wearing red today because it's National Wear Red Day. Now, it is actually an American one, I think, this, but I don't care because, you know, it gives me excuses to do things that I might not do otherwise. And I have a lovely red coat. I haven't worn it for a long time, but I dug in the cupboard this morning and I found my lovely furry red coat. So I got that out and I wore sort of a navy top, and I found my nice red cardigan, which I haven't had on for a long time. Now, National Wear Red Day is actually promoting heart health and that sort of thing. So that's what it's really about. But it's amazing how red can cheer people up. Now, one of the things I did today, after I'd been out to lunch aptly with my mum and my brother, I had a meeting with lovely Moira. I don't think she's in here tonight. She's often in the broadcast, but I can't see her come in the broadcast. She might watch the replay. But she wants to join my White Buzz group because she runs a business. She runs she does more than one thing actually, but she does diamond cross stitch, and she does other things as well, which I will tell you about on another broadcast. But she wanted to know about joining my White Buzz group and the membership. Hi Jason. So we met up. I suggested we met in the Cakery, which is a lovely new coffee shop in Cross Street in Ryde. So if anybody wants to know where that is, it's in the middle of Cross Street in Ryde. Any of you islanders, go there and have a look. Lovely shop. It's got all sorts of gifts around the wall, and I was in there one day, and I wanted to know the time, and the whole wall is covered with clocks, but they were all saying 10 past 10 or 10 to 2, whatever it is. You know, their clocks always have. I said, can you tell me what the real time is on that? But they did. There was a clock on the wall that had the real time. I digress. So anyway, so I met lovely Moira in there, but while I was waiting for Moira to come along, somebody else came in and wanted to sit, and by this time it was getting quite busy, and it's only a small cafe. So I sort of pulled over this way and said to the lady that came in, well, you know, do you want to go on that table? I'll move over a bit and there'll be room for you to get in there. So I did that, but of course we ended up chatting, and it turned out that she'd got a business. I said, well, I run a network group, and you know, she was an artist, and we had a networking conversation before both our guests came in. So we are going to connect anyway, because she's new to the island, fairly new to the island, and needs to get to know more people. So but then Moira arrived, and she was chatting with her, and then her guests arrived, so they were having their conversation. Anyway, Moira and I were chatting, and we were by the window, and all of a sudden I saw Sally come along. Now Sally is a member of a group I belong in. I belong to the 50 plus stylers group. Now I'm going to say a mad group. We are actually, no, we're all individual people who very much are individuals and do our own individual thing, but we are called the 50 plus stylers Isle of Wight, and we all have our own style of dressing, and very, very different styles. And Sally is a member of that group, and she came along, and she was dressed head to toe in red coat, I think she had I don't know if she had a red scarf, she had a red hat. And so I waved to her, and I thought, oh, I have to talk to her to see if she knows it's Wear Red Day. And so I beckoned her in, and she came into the cafe, and she hadn't known it was National Wear Red Day, but she just wore red, and she said, do you know, lots of people were smiling because she was wearing red. So obviously it's a nice, it's a nice bright colour. It makes people feel more cheerful. Anyway, I said, well, why don't you join us for a cup of tea? So she came in. It had been her birthday. So that's right, Karen, that's the group we went to last week, the 50th. Sally wasn't there because she wasn't very well, but she's just had a birthday as well. So she came in, and I sort of, we said, come on, let's celebrate your birthday, and let's sing. So I think I did a quick sing. I don't know if I did a quick sing, but anyway. So it was, so she had a chat, and of course we had to have the selfie of us in our red, which I haven't had a chance to put up yet, but I will put it up afterwards. And so that was celebrating National Wear Red Day, but it also reminded me, it took me back to memories and another story. When she said so many people were smiling, it reminded me of a day with my bank manager. Now, some years ago, my bank manager said to me that he had to go out with some of his clients and spend a day out with his clients. And so I knew I didn't want to let him have a boring day of me sitting in the home office just doing social media or something like that. And so I invited him to go to be with me on the Friday. And the Friday of that week happened to be Red Nose Day. And I said to him, are you up for coming out with me on Red Nose Day? And are you up for wearing a red nose while we go out and about? Well, he was up for that sort of thing. And so he came to my house. He picked me up first thing in the morning. I got him to decorate a money collecting box because we made it a fundraiser. And so what we did, we'd alerted some of the White Buzz members, and some of them were donating prizes. So we were doing a raffle round the island, and some of them had one girl was a cake maker, and she made red nose cakes to donate to the raffle. Other people gave me all sorts of things for the raffle, and then a lot of our members were wanting to buy raffle tickets. So basically we went round the island collecting up raffle prizes and selling raffle tickets. I think we made about £65. It was a wet and horrible day, if you could call it a horrible day. But because we were doing mad and wacky things, for us, it wasn't horrible in our world. And we were going down the street. I'd got some, I think it was like a feather boa, but I stuck it on my head as red hair. And I had my nose on going down the street. My bank manager put his nose on every now and again. He didn't wear it all the time, but he did wear it a lot of the time. And I found the pictures recently and it was lots of fun. And so while we were going around like that, people were smiling. It was, as I say, a horrible wet day, but all of a sudden all these people were smiling. So, if we can make people smile by walking in the rain, wearing feathers on our head and red noses, then so be it. We need to do more of it and we need to make more people smile. Hi, Jane. So it brought back all those happy memories of things I'd done in mad and wacky things that I'd done in the past. So it was really, really lots of fun. So, some of today was built on memories of the Nissa Leaf that I had, memories of the fundraising I've done in the past, memories of going out with the bank manager and that. So lots and lots of memories today, but all based around positive stuff. And don't forget, that cheerleaders poem I read first. Sorry, they're not red then, but never mind. So let's pop that over there. On my travels today, I've collected up a new brochure because if you've been watching my live streams, you'll know that I'm actually doing some bucket collecting, not collecting buckets, but collecting money in buckets for the autism directory. And this is a new folder with more up-to-date information. And I'm learning much more about autism and the autism directory charity. So because there's a big what am I trying to say? There are a lot of people with autism here on the island, and what the Autism Directory wants to do is get a hub on the island where people can find all the information they need. And so I'm out bucket collecting tomorrow, not bucket collecting, collecting in buckets. As long as I don't kick the bucket, we'll be all right. So anybody out in Ride tomorrow, I'm up in Iceland tomorrow. Do pop in and see me if you're around. If you've got the odd penny that you can put in the bucket. As I say, you don't need to give much. Hi, David. You don't need to give much. If everybody could pop a penny in, those pennies will mount up. It's not about giving huge amounts of money. Obviously, if you want to throw, a £50 note in, that's fine. I wouldn't refuse it. But, if everybody could just drop a penny in the bucket, that bucket would be so full tomorrow night that I wouldn't be able to carry it home. But I do have Lilac Lil, and so I will be able to, Lilac Lil will be able to transport my bucket. So, that's what I'm doing. So today, as I say, been a very full day. It's been lovely being with my brother who was back from America and spending time with him. Lovely family time, friendship time, networking time in the cafe, fun with the talking about the charity stuff and all that. And then, of course, you, my lovely community, coming in this evening and egging me on with what I'm doing, encouraging me to keep going, because, I couldn't do this without you. I'd be sitting here talking to a phone on my own if none of you came in. And, some of you pop in regularly. I know you can't always be here because obviously you've got things to do and lives to lead, but it is lovely to see you here. And I know some of you come and watch the replay. It's been a really good week. Lots and lots of you have come into the broadcast. Oh, and did you know Winnie the Pooh, look, he's wearing red for National Wear Red Day. Now this fellow, I must tell you, I forgot that bit. This fellow, he was with me today because, I'm doing a lot of things around a bear hunt. And so keep watching and seeing what's going on with the bears. And he was with me in the cakery. And then when we went outside the cakery, I looked back in the window And in the window of the cakery, there was a little bear, another little bear. So we were on a bear hunt looking for other bears. And there was a little bear sitting on a stool. And on the stool, it said naughty. So that little bear was sitting on the naughty chair. And my little bear was sitting on Lilac Lil, looking in the window at the bear on the naughty chair. I think he wanted to be on the naughty chair. Anyway, so that by this time the cafe had shut. You know, I'd been in there for two and a half hours, I think, or something like that. So, you know, I had to go on my merry way. But next door to the cakery is White Sights, and White Sight is they are a member of White Buzz. White Sight is the people who do my glasses. It's a glasses shop, a spectacle boutique, let's call it. They don't do eye tests, but they do makeup glasses. And for anybody who needs to know, if you wear glasses and you're on the Isle of Wight or can get to the Isle of Wight, Adrian is wonderful. He does glasses at a very, very reasonable cost. So none of this £700 that I know Karen was quoted £700 for her glasses where she lives. You know, that's really silly money. He does very, very, very reasonably priced glasses. So Teddy went in, Bear went in, and Bear was trying on. He was trying on. Hi, Martin. Bear was trying on glasses, and I will be putting the pictures up. Right, hang on. What's this? I mentioned Carillion the other night. I calculated today, and the final figure they cost us was 95,000. Not the best day. No, that doesn't sound like good news. That wasn't such good news about that. But with my bear, the good news there was he went in, and he was trying on glasses. I think he was looking forward to the summer because at one point he had sunglasses on, and then he had some rather smart glasses, very smart for a bear like this. Listening to Lyn makes my day. Do you know, I've had some really lovely compliments this week from you people coming in, and you know, somebody said to me, where do I get my energy? Last night they said, where do I get my energy? I'm fortunate enough to come from parents who were very high energy themselves. My mum is 93. She still seems to have quite a lot of energy. My dad had an energy right up till he died when he was 89, back in 2010. But I get uplifted by all the lovely things that you come in and you say. And so it's encouragement both ways. Whereas I try and encourage people to be positive, you're all coming back the other way with real positive stuff. And, poor Karen's lost connection there. And so it's a community, a real community effort here with everybody supporting everybody. And I love that thing. I'm not quite sure what we can do about the 95,000 that Carillion cost, you know, that David's talking about there. That might be a little bit more difficult. Hang on, my battery's going low. Wait a minute. Whoops, I have a battery charger and it's plugged in. There we go. We've put the battery back on. Oh, that's it. Right. Clint is saying, hope all is well. Can't get a decent live stream tonight. Hope all is well. See you soon. Signal there. Rubbish. Talk are rubbish. Yes, but my talk. Hopefully my talk isn't rubbish, as in me talking. I don't know. If you're passionate about something, you will always find energy. You do. Thank you, David. I do have. I have got an issue going on. And I will say it here, I've been asked to promote something. And first of all, I was going to do it because it was something that was going to promote the island. And then I had a little think about it. And actually, it's promoting an off-island company. It may well be good for the island, but I believe in shop local, and I've been asked to sort of promote a company on the mainland that do social media. That's what I do, you know, and so I'm having a little wrestle around the fact that I've been asked, you know, to promote a mainland company that actually do what I do. So anyway, that's one I've got to wrestle with and sort out. Do I do it or don't I do it? I've got a conversation to have on Monday. I tried to have the conversation today. The person I needed to get to wasn't available. I do promote the island every possible chance I get. And I will be. I got thwarted yesterday because I was going to do a live stream on the seafront. I've done live streams on Facebook Live, but I wanted to do live stream on Periscope because there's a very global audience on Periscope. And my brother was coming in on the hover yesterday, and I wanted to nip down, live stream his hover as he came in, and then meet him and bring him home. Unfortunately, I was in an area without connection, and he was coming in on the 1:30 hover, and so I actually missed that opportunity, because when I got the message he was already on the island waiting for me. So I'm going to have to do that another day. But you know, our little island needs all the buy right, buy white. Yes, absolutely, David. And you know, I'm always doing things shop local. If we can get stuff on the island, then we should be supporting anybody on the island. And that is a conversation, because it was the council, somebody from the council wanted me to do this thing. And I don't know whether they're watching in, any of them, but actually the message is shop local. If we've got people here who can do the job, then investigate that first. I'm not sure whether they didn't even think of that. There is, the thing they want me to promote is a government-led initiative, but you know, it just didn't sit right with me. So I have to have that conversation and see where we go with it. But I won't dwell on that now, because that's a conversation that I will have on Monday, and I'll let you know how I get on with that. But otherwise, there's loads of things. We've got the bear hunt. That's an initiative for marketing the island in the summer, and that's with a lot of the levy payers and Visit Isle of Wight. But lots of us smaller businesses are now going to enhance and complement what's happening there, and hence why we've got bears and bear hunts going on. So watch this space. Loads and loads of people talking together about promoting bear hunts and how we can really push the island on lots of different things, and loads of island businesses. So watch this space for the bear hunt. And I think on that note, I will end the broadcast, because I think we've been on almost an hour, and I do value your time, and I know that, you know, I don't want to take too much of your time away. So I hope some of you have got some value out of that. I hope some of you have been entertained, because I always try to inspire, educate and entertain. Let's find another positive quote to leave with you. Here we are. Look, this... Right, I think this is quite a good one. It's a bit like the one I read earlier. It says, work hard for what you want, because it won't come to you without a fight. Cool, don't I know that one? And you have to be strong and courageous, and know that you can do anything you put your mind to. If somebody puts you down or criticises you, just keep on believing in yourself and turn it into something positive. And, you know, it is true. You really, really can do that. So... I think, oops, hang on, let me go back to see if there's any more comments before I love you and leave you. So I think that's, you know, everything. We've covered a lot of ground again tonight. We've covered Red Day, we've covered Simply Amazing, we've done some positive stuff and all sorts of things. Networking, we've covered the whole lot. So folks, thank you very much for joining me again on this end of another week. Where are the weeks going? You know, it's whizzing by, isn't it? You know, first month of the year's already gone. Now we're into February, and another week gone by. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great sleep, and I'll see you, some of you, here tomorrow night. I shall be back tomorrow night at 10, and have a great weekend. If you can't join me, then, you know, have a great weekend and join me when you can. Thank you. Love you lots. Appreciate you all being here. Bye for now.